Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to the video. This is Fisher Vlog number 220. Took a bit of a break from working on the vlogs, mostly because, well, there's a lot of stuff going on in the fish room, but not really a whole lot worth recording. And, well, I was working on this filter. I mean, quite happy to have this all up and running now. And in the last video, I had give you guys, well, 4 options for what kind of spray bar. And this is the one that came out with 60% of the votes, which is cool. So I liked it as well. It has advantages in the sense that I think it's not going to be too forceful. And also you can see by the condensation on the inside of the acrylic, it is creating more than enough humidity. So what I'm going to do today here, first off, is I'm going to set this up so that we can get some gravel in there, get this tank running. I have a few things I want to put in here. I think the front runner at the moment is going to be a bunch of zebra danios. I'm still breeding a lot of them, so another tank where they can run around, and I think this is going to be a fair amount of current, so I think it will end up giving them the kind of environment I think they will thrive in. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put them in first, obviously, for a while and see how it goes, and also, of course, I'm going to keep and monitor how the plants do and all that sort of things. And, well, yeah, it's just, like I said, it's a new, well, not new, completely new style, but it is a new version of it, and it has a lot more flow, and I want to see if that is going to affect anything. So this is the same way I've done all of them. Just put a bunch of gravel in. This is just river gravel. It's nothing special about it. There's no extra porosity or anything. It just gives a nice little bed for the filter here. And I'm putting a little bit more in this one. I think in the past I have put a little bit more of a thinner bed, sometimes just a little bit of lava rock. But this works well, so I'm going to stick with this. And then the other thing I'm going to do, of course, is I'm going to put in some Java fern. Just fern initially. I think in time, depending on how the fern does, I may add a little bit of moss as well, just as another bed. The nice thing with the moss is it does supply an extra layer of filtration. It's kind of neat that way. So yeah, I'm going to put that in there, and then of course, like I said, I'm going to let this run. There are already snails in the tank. I am going to throw in a bunch of, well, my usual cleaning crew, shrimp and that sort of thing, and get some scuds in there and get this all settled. And then, of course, I'll throw in the zebra danios. So nothing special with this particular batch of Java fern. It's just, I just pulled it out of one of my spare tanks. I don't even think there's any fish in there at the moment. So it's, well, it's going to have a lot of extra nutrient for a change. So yeah, I'm just going to pop this on. Sorry about the arm view here mostly, but it's very tight trying to get anything filmed and put in place here. You see, it fits together quite nicely, and this is actually something I noticed when I was at that particular moment. Most of the ones I put together, the only way to adjust the flow through those holes is to either take the lid off, or I have a piece of acrylic rod that's the right diameter for just fitting through the holes, and I push it back that way. The fact that I can actually stick my fingers in here and move that back, I think is going to be an actual asset to this. So again, won't know for a year or 2 years or even longer possibly before this gets, really, really overgrown and that sort of stuff becomes necessary. But there you go. It's now up and running. It's going to be at the, like I said, the long stage, long term, see how it all turns out. The biggest change in the fish room. This has been a cold winter. And normally I just heat with we have forced air heating, so I just let that heat the room, and I try to deflect some or more into the basement. But I've been noticing I was having a little bit of change in fish behavior, and some of them actually weren't doing very well. So I've decided to do this. This is just your standard electric space heater. It's ceramic. It's nothing really special. It has a thermostat. And it's been running now for about a week, and I was beginning to notice an improvement. These guys were one of the ones that showed the most sort of, well, it's not so much that they were not as active, because they're always active, but I was noticing a little spot here and there, maybe a little bit of, I'm not sure, maybe fungus or something, but there was no reason for it. And, well, anyway, ever since I cranked up the temperature a little bit, They're all very happy now, and so are the parents. I'm hoping they're going to start breeding again because they had stopped during all this. And you notice in the other tank there, the first shot, there's a killifish in there. I have no idea where they come from. I mean, they pop in odd tanks, and I don't transfer a lot of plants from tank to tank, but for some reason, every now and then, a killifish shows up. And this is on the opposite side of the fish room to where I'm currently keeping them. So these are honey grammies. They obviously weren't going to breed in those lower temperatures. I could have bought a heater and stuck it in here, but I decided to go that other route, and we'll see how that works out. One thing I noticed that was different is there are now 2 bubble nests on average in that tank. So that's an improvement. We'll see how that goes. I've set up these guys to breed. Sorry for the green, but that's just on the glass. The water itself is actually clear. I took out the snails because, well, I wanted to make sure I get as many eggs as possible. So that's the reason for that. You see, looking down, you see it's clear. There's a little bit of stagnation here. That's because that, well, the high humidity planter is getting so overgrown. It's definitely due for a clean. This is something I wanted to show you guys. This is a tank that I don't really show very often. This is you can see the shrimp there. There were 4 guppies that I left in here. They're just tiny little babies at the time when I moved all of the guppies out of this tank so I could get more shrimp breeding. They grew up, and this is the funny thing, and something I take to heart when I deal with these things. They are beautiful. I mean, I just never really thought about it. They're just 4 baby guppies. I just left them there. Could have thrown them in any other aquarium, but I left them in here. And they're thriving, and now I'm gonna give them some females and hopefully get that all going too. That's one of the things. The funny things is, and one of the things I really need to do regarding my guppy population is I need to get more tanks going, and a lot more culling needs to be done. Which is the reason why I'm showing you this particular aquarium, because this is just a storage tank. It's 30 gallons, and I throw a whole pile of stuff in here. There's some platies in here, not as many because I think they were not doing very well with the cooler temperatures, and I think I lost maybe a couple of them. Just in this tank, though. The other tanks are all fine. But this is lower down, so that might have something to do with it. Who knows? So there's a couple of in here that I noticed that were, well, they're not as robust as I like them. There's one right there in the middle of the screen. So I need to start culling these out and then start dividing them up and making sure that I have all the strains I want, because there's a lot of variety and I want to keep that variety going. So there you go, my first fish room vlog in a couple months. Hope you guys enjoyed it. There's one more clip coming here, and that's just more guppies, because another example of a whole pile of stuff that needs to be culled. Just finnage I don't care for, some body shape I don't care for. Stuff like that. This needs to be cleaned up. All those that get called out will go to a client's tank, and they can live out their lives there. And anyway, leave comments. Let me know what you think about all this, and I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.